Welcome everybody. Let's take a look and see what happened in the market today. We're going to look at four different things. We'll look at the weekly chart, the daily chart, the trade of the day, and we'll look at a trade I made. Sometimes I share my trades, and today I'm going to share one of my trades that I did. So let's get started with the video. Okay, so here is the trade I made. We'll start with this. Why not? Do something a little bit different today. You can see I made $1,525 in 1 day's worth of trading. This was, the overnight session going a little bit into the morning. Pre-market, I was trading the futures here, the S&P 500 futures, trading the E-minis. I took on one contract here based on some things that were going on. I could see that there was, serious divergence going on here for quite a while in the daily chart. We're approaching, going into the second and third weeks of August, as we're anticipated decline coming here. And of course, we had a big event yesterday with Fitch downgrading the U.S. credit. Standard & Poor's already had downgraded the U.S. credit a while back, and Fitch did it yesterday. And of course, I had a big impact on the market. So, I knew that, things were turning. And we'll look at the weekly chart, daily chart here in a second. I'll talk about, why this was kind of a no-brainer. This was going to happen. And Fitch just added fuel to the fire. I'm not going to make this video into a political video, but, the socialists and leftists in America, they totally screwed up this nation. And there's no getting around it, no matter how much spin they do with their media pals that control 99% of all the media in America. They can only spend so far, right? Just think about it in 3 years, what's happened to America. There's war now in Europe, right? Which, by the way, is in Ukraine, exactly where the current president's been accused of committing crimes. What do you know? There happens to be war in the exact nation where he committed crimes. Gee, I wonder why that is. Talk about the perfect way to hide something. You've got an invasion of the southern border in the United States of America going on for the last 3 years since these clowns have taken over the D.C. You've got, we're on the edge of superinflation. I won't call it hyperinflation, but I'll call it superinflation because that's basically what we're on the edge of. And then yesterday, fuel was added to the fire. Fitch doesn't give a damn about what the leftists and Democrats want in this nation and what their, what their spin is. In the story they're trying to tell, they said it like it was. Fitch is telling the truth. America's in deep trouble. You got Kevin McCarthy, the rhino in the White House. He's not really a Republican, guys, in case you wanted to know. He's a rhino, Republican in name only. He does a handshake deal with Biden. Stabs Americans in the back and does this ridiculous, massive debt deal. And Fitch even mentioned it. They said, we're not buying it. You guys can shake hands all you want. You can raise a debt ceiling until you're blue in the face, but we're going to call it like we see it. And Fitch did the right thing. And I'll be honest with you. Again, not trying to make this video into a political video, but they only downgraded it from AAA to AA. And I'll be honest with you, America's not AA. We're at what, $35 trillion in debt? Just a newsflash, everybody in America, they ain't never going to pay back that debt. Forget about it. Ain't never going to happen. So is America really AA? No, America's more like BB. I mean, it's like somewhere in speculation credit rating, if you want to know the real truth. It's just Fitch and Standard & Poor's don't want to be the ones that have to tell the truth. So they just kind of back it off one credit rating and go, ooh, you guys are doing bad things, Even Fitch and Standard & Poor's are kind of owned, if you know what I mean. So anyway, this was a trade. I'm just saying all those things because based on everything that's going on, this to me was going to be a no-brainer. That this was coming. I've been talking about it. And so you see the trade here made $1,525. And I honestly believe, let's switch over to the daily chart and we'll talk about where I think things are headed. All right, so here we are on the daily chart for the S&P 500. You can see, look at this, the weekly candlestick here we're looking at. It filled in this gap, right, from 46.31 to 45.09. It's just 2.5 weeks of between these two substantial resistance points. It just filled in this, almost filled it all in one. Really, just like most of it was today, but Monday and Tuesday as well. because today's Wednesday. So just filled this all in. Now, I've been talking about this divergence. It's been going on for a while in the weekly chart. And we can begin to see now that, this thing is really starting to begin its little rollover. And, yesterday, I think this was at 143. So it's starting to back off a little bit here. We don't see any signs of this rolling over yet in the beginning, but I think it's going to. And we'll look at the daily chart here. I think it's like August 20th or something like that. We'll look at that. But we have a cycle low here, August 13th on the weekly. But I think we're in for some bigger decline than we originally thought going into some of these cycle lows. I think we're going to see a much bigger decline based on all the shenanigans that's going on. Okay, let's take a look at, just one more thing. Way up here, the 4808, that's off limits. I don't think it's going to happen now. There was some, I had some, waiting to see if this was going to break above 4631, and that was the big tell, right? Which way was this thing going to break? I've been talking about it for the last week or two, and said if it gets up in this area, then that's a different story. Then the all-time high is definitely within reach. But now, based on what I'm seeing here, it ain't going to happen. I think Fitch put the nail in the coffin for the Democrats and socialists, boy. they just said, forget that crap. Okay, let's look at the daily chart. All right, so here we are on the daily chart, and you can see, there was actually a gap down because, again, we're looking at the futures. It's you don't see gaps in futures very often. You see them in the SPX and the Spider because those are mostly intraday products. Okay, but you don't get gaps very often in the futures. But yet last night we got a gap down because Fitch gave their downgraded the U.S. credit, basically at the market close. So when the market reopened at 5 o'clock last night for the futures, it gapped down, and that's kind of a rare event to see a big gap in the futures on the same contract, which is September. So I think that's. I was talking to my members today on the Discord server, and I was saying, we're going to get down below this candlestick right here, which I think was 45.53. And I said, we're going to get down to 45.28 pretty easily. And sure enough, today, look at that. We came all the way down to 45.27. I'll call it 28. I mean, really came right down to 40. Look at this number. 45.27.75. And what is this? 45.28. I mean, within 1/4 of a point. Are you kidding me? It literally came down and touched it. And I was telling members, I upgraded the members last night in my on the Discord server, and I put up this, took a screenshot of this and said, hey, here's my new support levels, 45.28 and 44.11. Okay, which, by the way, if you want to become a member, just check out the link in the first comment of this video. You can join the Discord server. Just make sure you read the comment really careful about how you're going to join. I'll talk about all the membership services and what you get with the membership at the end of the video. So if you want to know what that is, just stick around to the end, okay? But getting back here to the video on the daily chart, I said I'm pretty sure we're going to get down to this 45.28. And sure enough, it came down and touched it. I mean, see, guys and gals, what I want you to understand about the market is it'll always gravitate towards what I call natural support and resistance. Always. Like 99% of the time. So I've talked about this before, and I know some of my members disagree with me, and that's fine. They can do their thing. They're trading just like everybody else. But a lot of people look at this Fibonacci stuff, and it has its place. Don't get me wrong, but it's never more important than natural resistance and support points. Never. I want you to get that. Don't ever think Fibonacci retracement is a replacement for natural resistance and support. It'll never be as good. So how did I know we're going to get to 45.28? Because you can see it on the chart. You should have an eye. You should be able to develop an eye for candlestick patterns. You should be able to see them with your eye. You should be able to eventually be able to see cycles. Okay? You should be able to pick them out. And you should be able to see natural support and resistance points in the candlesticks. Okay? And I can tell there's a natural support point right here. You can see it. The market stalled right here. The candlesticks are kind of consolidated a little bit. Okay? You see it? It's as clear as day. There's also one right here. Can you see it right here? Goes right across the screen, right? Look at all these counts that's to touch this line. It's just basic geometry, right? It's nothing special, nothing advanced here. So, and that's why I said to them, the first one's going to be 45.53. Well, it came down. It came down. It sat here for a little while. I actually got out of the market right at this one. I had to get some sleep because, you do what you got to do. I mean, I could have put some limit orders and stop limits in there, but, I did my thing and got out of the market, made my $1,500. But, it should be, you should develop an eye for this. So, this is a very natural place where you would see the market find support. And it did to the damn point, right to it. Okay, so what's the next one? Well, the market makers and the Federal Reserve and BlackRock, I can almost guarantee we're active today trying to keep this market from crashing. And don't tell me no, because I guarantee they were involved in the market today doing their illegal shenanigans, trying to hold this market from collapsing. I can almost guarantee it happened today, because that's what they do. That's what the left does. They're nasty, and they do nasty stuff, and they cheat all the time, including infiltrating the stock market, doing things they shouldn't be doing. So what do I think is going to happen next? Why would this stop right here? Because they know if it gets below this 45.28, baby, it's bombs away all the way to the 50-day moving average, which right now is 44.22. There's a huge gap between the bottom of this candlestick and the 45.28 natural support point and the next one. There's nothing between those two, and they know it. They absolutely know it. And so do the fund managers and all the big money movers and those that have hundreds of millions and billions of dollars to throw around. They all know that this is a very critical price point. That's why it's sitting there at the close basically today, within a few points of it. Okay, we're only a few points above that. So it's really important to understand the shenanigans and how markets are manipulated and all this stuff. And they are partially free and they're partially manipulated. That's what they do. It's the illusion of free market. That's what this is. Okay. So what are the two things that I think are going to happen next? Well, I think there's a really more than 50% chance, probably like 65, 70% chance that we're going to break below this 45.28. And it's going to start coming down here. And there's nothing between these two moving averages, the 24 and the 50. The first one's going to be this 50-day moving average. And wherever it is, maybe it gets up into this area. Okay, I'm just kind of guessing here about 44.50, let's say, 44.70, whatever. We'll just see how this works. Okay. And then below that would be the 44.11. So I anticipate, I'm not saying it's going to all happen in one day. We could get a bounce here. Some stuff could go on here, rigid, jumpity. It could bounce back up into here. Okay, for sure. That's possible. But I think overall, the market's in trouble. I don't even like to say trouble. I just see opportunity. But people relate to the market's doing great, the market's doing bad, right? That's like lingo, right? To me, as a futures trader, up and down, they're the same opportunity, baby. I'll make money either way. I don't care. So anyway, the market's in trouble. The first one's going to be the 50-day moving average, and then the second one's going to be the 44.11. And I do think it's possible we're going to get down to this 50-day moving average. The weekly chart shows some real weakness, and I think it's going to give it up, and it's going to start puking its guts. All right, let's look at the trade of the day. All right, we're looking at the 5-minute chart, and this chart streamed live to the members, 5, 15 minute, 1 hour, all streamed live to the members. Now, last night I entered the trade somewhere over in this area with these two alerts. Okay, and I just wrote it all the way out to like somewhere down in here. Right down to the bottom right here when it got down in here. I was up at this time and I closed out my position. I think I closed it out like right in here. So I just wrote this whole thing down. That's where I made my $1,500 last night. Now, so that was, to me, was really, if you want to really talk about the trade of the day. And when I say day, guys and gals, for futures, that's basically 23 hours a day. I don't think of trading from an intraday perspective only because I'm a futures trader primarily. So I trade globally. I trade global commodities and copper and euro futures and S&P 500 futures and gold and you name it. I trade corn. I trade whatever's ever available, whatever's going to make profit. I don't think like a day trader. I think like a futures trader is a big difference between the two. Now, do I take advantage of intraday movement? Of course I do. But there's a lot more to life than just being a day trader. Okay, you're missing a lot of opportunities if you think day trading is the pinnacle of trading. Anyway, that was the real trade of the day, was last night. Now, for you guys and gals that only want to trade during the day, then the trade of the day was pre-market right here, at 5:20 my time here in Texas. And this one, there's a couple ways. The way I would have done this, I didn't trade this, but if I were to trade, I would have waited here. I wouldn't have traded this little up part. I would have waited till it rolled over like right in here, and then I would have taken the trade. And boy, was that a moneymaker, huge. And of course, the MACD made good here on the 5-minute chart. About an hour and a half later, whatever it was. As it crossed over. Okay, and if you relate to the game here and you were like just barely pre-market, I think this is like 9:05 East Coast time, 8:05 Texas time. You could still get in the market right there. That's fine. Right in this area, you didn't have to wait for anything. When you see this already like this, you see this big gap going in the MACD. You don't got to wait for the SMI to do anything. Just take the trade southbound, baby. So you still could have made money here. So the real two trades of the day for me was really last night about 8 p.m. my time here in Texas, and then again about 5:15, 5:30. And if like I said, if you're really late to the game, you're snoozing and sleeping, there was still some opportunity right here. Okay, I'm just going to finish up the video real quick and talk about what the members get for those that are interested in becoming a member. You can see here this on the Discord server. This is the Guinness server. All right. And like I said, the link is in the description below this video. If you want to join and become a member, just make sure you read the rules. Make sure you read that description really well in that comment, because that's going to help you join the membership properly. But I just want to show you real quick some of the things that go on here. The S&P 500 alerts channel. We looked at the streaming chart, right? The 5-minute chart. There's also the 15-minute and the 1 hour that all the members get. But you can see the alerts come in, right? Look at all these alerts that came in. Yeah, pretty cool, right? Here's that alert last night that I talked about, 8 o'clock last night. You notice there wasn't a lot of alerts on the S&P 500 today. Why? Because the market was just straight down. No need for alerts. You just trade the market. Right? Whenever you see this, and I tell members this all the time, if you don't get a lot of alerts on the S&P 500, that means the market's moving and it's either moving aggressively up or aggressively down. Just trade. Just place your positions with a direction and make a lot of money. So there's also gold alerts that come in here, crude oil, stock alerts, top 30 stocks for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ go into there. And then we do some daily alerts in here too for those that want to do swing trades, okay? All right, so if you're interested, like I said, just click on the link. You're going to come over to get a server. You click on server subscriptions. Guys and gals, $7.99, $7.99 a month. Are you kidding me? Most of my current members make this $7.99 probably 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 months worth of membership in one trade. Now, not everybody can do that because not everybody has the maturity to be a good trader. So if you're going to join the service, don't expect miracles in 2 weeks, especially if you're a beginner trader. Just don't come and take the service and expect to be a big trader making $1,500 like I made in your first month of trading. It just isn't going to happen. Most people don't have the maturity. You got to be patient. Take really small positions. Learn to understand how the service works. Okay, don't take all-in trades. That's craziness. Don't do that stuff. Okay, if you're patient enough, the membership will easily pay for itself and the amount of money you make. If you're patient. If you're coming into the service looking for all-in trades and making $1 million overnight in one night, forget it. Don't join the service. I'm not interested. I don't want to hold your hand. If you want to come in and be a mature trader and put on the big boy pants or the big girl pants and become a good trader, then fine, join. And I say that up front, and I'd rather be honest with people than trying to sugarcoat it. And like all these people that put these services out there and charge hundreds of dollars or $50 a month, and their services are garbage. All right, $7.99 is crazy cheap. It's just crazy cheap. So join the service if you want to. Just be prepared to learn. Don't come in with an arrogant attitude. I've had some people come in with that. They want to try to show everybody how good they are, and then they disappear in 2 weeks because you know why? They're losing money. Right? Because they want to be the man of the hour, and then when they fail on some trades, they disappear into the wild blue yonder, So don't do that. Join the membership. Okay, my goodness, it's super cheap. It's $25 for 3 months if you think about it. Okay, you can just pause the video right here if you want to. This is the Guinness membership services that all reside on the Discord server. Okay, this is everything you get. You get the streaming charts, 5, 15-minute, 1 hour. We even looked at one of them already, the 5-minute chart, right? You get the S&P 500 alerts I talked about. You get the That's the S&P 500 alerts channel. You get the alerts for the top 30 stocks, S&P 500 and NASDAQ. Premium symbols. At the end of each day, I put out a premium symbols list for each of these: futures, optionable stocks, industries, and shorts. There's a channel for that. It's called the Premium Symbols channel. Very useful. I recommend that members take advantage of that, because I do. Okay, nightly email for new members, or if you want to become a member, make sure you put your email address in the emails only channel on the Discord server. I'll give you, I put out, I should say, email every night, a chart of the S&P 500. The S&P 500 chart with a few sentences of my opinion about what I think the market's going to do. And of course, YouTube videos are for everybody. All right, I know it's kind of a long video, but today was kind of a big day with the Fitch downgrade and all the shenanigans going on. Happy trading, everybody. God bless everybody. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.